the text as like unformed babies or a fetus with grey skin and dark, unmoving eyes. And if you look at a picture, a mock-up picture of how people describe these so-called grey aliens, then what a great description. All that time ago, an unformed baby or fetus with grey skin and dark, unmoving eyes. And you start to realize that while we think that this reptilian grey phenomenon is a modern phenomenon, in fact, it's not like that at all. The archons of which they are an expression in form operate in a different frequency band to us. It's very close to this one, but it's not within the frequency band that we decode, which scientists call visible light. It's the only narrow band of frequency that we can actually perceive as the world we live in. And so what you're looking at is a force that from their band of frequency has been here all along. When humans were knocking rocks together in what we call the Stone Age and earlier, they were still in the state that they're in. They already had the technological knowledge, which is a big thing with these archons. They're obsessed with technology. Think transhumanism, by the way. And all along, they have been manipulating human society. So in this case, the Gnostics were describing them, in 100 AD. But you go back further, and they go under names like gnomes and elves and goblins, and in your country, little people.
Little people, yeah.
Yeah, because some of them are, especially the greys, are very small. Not all of them, but there is a type that's very small. And so what's been happening through what we call human history is this force has been manipulating human development. And the idea was this, and we're now living through it in the world that we perceive today, was to bring humans up to a point where they had the technological knowledge to enslave themselves, which is what's happening with all this technology. Surveillance technology, transhumanism technology, introducing technology to the body. But they didn't have the spiritual expansion of awareness to realize that that's what they were doing. And as you can imagine, crucial to this being successful was to keep the existence of these archon entities from the target population. So if you look around the religions and around the ancient world, like I said, you can see this same force described in the same way, or called different names. So you have the jinn in Islamic belief, but not just Islamic belief in the Quran, but pre-Islamic belief. That's where it came from. And the jinn, the word jinn, comes from an Arabic root word meaning hidden, which is exactly what we're dealing with. Hidden because they're on if you like, a parallel reality, close to ours, but not close enough for us to see them, unless they enter our frequency range, which is when people see grey, quote, aliens and reptilians and other forms. And the Christian belief talks about demons, demonic entities, and the shaman of Central America, they have names for them like flyers, and all around the world you see different names, but they're describing the same thing, this force, this malevolent force that possesses the human form and manipulates collectively and individually our perception of reality. The possession is something that goes as far back as you can go in known human history. And what is it? People talk about entities, like Christians talk about demons possessing the body. They don't possess the body. They connect with because on the level they interact with us, they're electromagnetic fields in effect. They connect with us at our electromagnetic field level, what we call the auric field. And if they can connect powerfully enough, they can feed perceptions, they can feed thoughts, and they can feed apparent awareness coming from the possessed person's own mind, so they think, so that they are, from the hidden, controlling the person's perception and therefore behavior. And like I say, possession is something that you find all over the world. And of course, even the Roman Catholic Church, has people who are official exorcists to remove demonic entities, as they perceive them, from people. What they're doing is removing them from that electromagnetic field, the auric field, which basically from which the body is projected as a hologram. So you talked this week to one of these exorcists at the Vatican. Was it Bruce? Father? No, not Bruce. Vince. Father Vince Lampert.
Vince Lampert. Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the questions that I found fascinating was, what happens when you do an exorcism? What is prayer? It's concentrated, focused thought. Concentrated thought and emotional states create different frequencies. Now, these archontic entities are of a very low frequency because of their state of being. Your state of being dictates the frequency. If you're open-hearted and loving and you're genuine, honest, straight, your state of being will generate a certain frequency in your energy field. If, like these archontic entities, you want to control and suppress and create suffering and feed off low vibrational human emotion, so you've got to create the circumstances that generates that, i.e. the world we live in, then you're going to be of a very low frequency, a very low vibrational frequency. And so if you are of that frequency type and you find yourself in a much higher frequency environment, you need to get out of there, because you can't stay there because it's incompatible to you. And so when the people are sitting around praying, their concentrated thought, and Jesus is not a person, it's a thought form. It's a way that people just ask people, how do you symbolize love? And they'll say, well, a heart, or the sun coming up, or a candlelight, or all these different ways that love. Christians, genuine Christians, who actually try to live the Christian life as they perceive it should be, they perceive love as Jesus. So by the very fact that they're saying in the name of what they're saying is the name of their version of love. Whatever their version of love is, if they are genuinely trying to invoke it, then they are generating a frequency akin to that. And that is a frequency which these archontic entities, this archontic energy, this archontic frequency cannot stay around it. And I would put it another way, without any mention of Jesus and without any invoking of this, that, the other, without any prayer as they would perceive prayer. Something that happened to me in Peru in 2012. One of the things to emphasize about this archontic force is it's a little boy in short trousers. People are terrified of demons. You have demonic entities. I have control over you. Oh, chill out, mate, will you?
But when you see it, though, it is pretty.
No,
it is for those looking at it.
Yeah,
it's pretty
it
scary,
is. But this is one of the great illusions, that these things have power over humans. They have power over humans that think they have power over humans. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And what Vince said in the interview there is, when he's doing these exorcisms, he commands that they leave. Well, you do, because you have more power than they do, and if you command it in the right way, with the right, again, energy, they have to get out of there. And what happened to me on a trip to Peru in 2012 was we ended up at this place on this particular day at a time when it was very close to pitch darkness, and by the time it all happened, it was pitch darkness. And it was a place called the Gate of the Gods, and not that far from a place called Puno on Lake Titicaca. And what happened was I was tired, and they were going over to this Gate of the Gods through the rest of the group was, and I was tired, so I was sat on this rock and minding my own business, waiting for them to come back. And this Gate of the Gods, and why it's called the Gate of the Gods, is these archontic entities in their various forms, reptilian grey or their pure energetic form, they were the gods of the ancient world in so many instances. They were the gods that they gave sacrifice to. You see, when you realize that these gods are feeding off human low vibrational energy, and one of the lowest vibrations is terror and extreme levels of fear. Well, you can understand then that when people are being sacrificed, they're going through obviously a ritual meant to generate maximum terror. And while the Satanists are in our world doing their stuff, the gods, these entities, are feeding off that very, very extreme frequency of terror, fear, and all that goes with sacrifice.